I'm Chuck Brown, CEO of Infinity. Disaster recovery is critical for businesses. Any event that interrupts mission-critical business functions can be called a disaster. It could be a natural disaster, such as hurricane or something else like arson, theft, employee accidental or intentional destruction of data, hacking or malware. Anything that interrupts your business that you didn't plan for is a disaster. There's a difference between business continuity and disaster recovery. Disaster recovery is focused more on getting your business restored after a disaster. It's a component of business continuity, which is focused on making sure your business keeps going even during a disaster. Many times, a company can restore their information and systems from a disaster, but while that was going on, they lost so much business that the company couldn't recover from it. This is absolutely not just an IT thing. It involves your people, your physical building if you have one, your equipment, your goods, and your processes. All that in addition to your data, hardware, and software. Take a hurricane, for example. Questions like what is expected of your employees, who are the key employees, how will they communicate, where will they go if they evacuate, what will you do to replace or supplement your physical assets that may be required. If there's specialized equipment that you need to operate, what will you do? If you have cloud facilities, will your staff have instructions on how to access them, and will they have equipment to work from home? You will also need to take into account some of your key vendors and advisors. Will you need support from your insurance team during the disaster? What about banking? Will you need funding to move operations while the storm is raging? Every aspect of the business needs to be considered. There are many ways to start a disaster recovery plan, but thinking about your employees, physical assets, technology infrastructure, communications are a great starting point. Start simple. The more complicated you make this, the longer you'll put it off. So go grab a pen and paper and just think and jot down some ideas first. Imagine a hurricane is coming and SEMA is starting to prepare us for evacuation. Who's going to make the decision to close the business or not? When will that decision be made? How will you communicate it to your employees? How will you communicate it to your clients? What do you need to do to protect your physical location? If people lose the internet, do they have physical copies of information they might need? Make a rough list of all the systems you use and determine how long you can be without them without significant losses. What will being out of service cost you in sales or even in lost customers? Do you have payroll or other obligations that have legal requirements? Then go on from there. Bring in your leadership team and your business partners, like IT of course, but also your legal, insurance, and financial advisors. Get advice from them. Let them tell you how you will best be protected and covered in the event of an emergency. Ask your staff what they need to function during a disaster. Write it all down and then review it every year, if not more often. And then be sure to test it. See if what you have on paper actually works when people are unable to go online and they're worried about their own families and loved ones. If your plan calls for steps to get back up and running within 48 hours, but evacuation orders won't let people back in for 96 hours, then adjust your plan. For help getting started with your plan, there are guides and resources on our website, www.infinityinc.us. You can always reach out to me and my team for help as well.